Hey everyone, Boydu here from Wallet Connect, and in this video I'll be showing you how you can make your own Web3Modal application using Flutter. Now, if you don't know what Flutter is an open source framework that's developed by Google, and it's used to make cross-platform applications which you can run on iOS, Android, Linux, etc. And the best part is you just need to have a single code base, a singular programming language that's known as Dart, very similar to JavaScript, although not like 100% similar, of course, but it's pretty close to JavaScript. So if you already know JavaScript, you might find it very easy to kind of get a grasp on. And I'm going to be showing you how you can make your own Web3Modal application with Flutter. Oh, by the way, we have a website, we have a brand redesign. So if you want to check it out, go to walletconnect.com and you can find the entire experience over there. Just before we move any further, I want to walk you through a small checklist. We need to have a project ID from cloud.walletconnect.com. That's going to be pretty easy. I'll walk you through it in a while. You need to, of course, have Flutter and Dart installed. You should also optionally have an emulator or a physical device to have a hot reloadable environment. And you need to have docs.walletconnect.com open because we'll be using a lot of snippets or a lot of instructions from the docs. So without any further ado, let's get started. Great, so I'm in VS Code now. And now the first thing I'll do is I'll press Command-Shift-P. Hey guys, Boydu from Future here. I just wanted to add some context for this. So if you're using VS Code, make sure you also install the Flutter and Dart extension. That's it. I'll let you carry on with the rest of the video. Enjoy. For Windows, I think it's Control-Shift-P. And I'll type in Flutter, new project. It'll give you a bunch of options. If you have not set your Flutter path, make sure you do that. But once you're done, you get a bunch of options. I don't really need comments and tests, so I'll just go ahead and create an empty application. It'll ask me where I want to create this, so I'll just go over here. I think this folder is fine, so I'll just click this and give my project name. So you can't really use hyphens in Flutter, like for the organization name. I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. So I'll give it an underscore instead. That sounds good. Awesome. So I have everything pretty much set up. It's gonna load the extensions and stuff. That's fine. Awesome. Everything's set up. All I need to do is get it running now. So how do I do that? I click on this no device right now. Enable Android for this project because I'll be testing it out on Android. Yes. Great. Click on this again. Now we have the option to run a mobile emulator. I'm going to go with the Pixel 4 that I've already installed. If you don't have this, make sure you download Android Studio and get it installed. You can also use a physical device, so that's always an option. And I'm doing it on Android, but you don't have to. You can always use iOS if you want. And yeah, it's good. Just one handy trick that I want to show you is if you're using an emulator, it makes sense to always let it be on top. So click on these three buttons, go to the settings, over here, and check this toggle emulator always on top. That will prevent it from going back when you're switching contexts. Awesome. So we have everything set up. I'm just going to turn on this device. I'm just going to enter my password. I might need to install a wallet. I think I have one wallet, which is probably not going to cut it. Yeah. So I'll do that. I'll install my wallet and I'll get back soon. Awesome. So I've installed MetaMask and I've set up my account over here, and we are pretty much good to go. So I'll just go back home and I'll just run the sample app to see how it's doing and what it looks like if you have literally done nothing else. So ideally it should just say hello world, and that should pretty much be it. But let's see. Let's give it a while and let it load up. And meanwhile, I'll see you on the other side. Great. So our app is here, and right now it just says hello world, and that's it. But we're going to change that very soon. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it homepage.dart. I'm going to type in st, I guess. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to make it a stateful widget because we are going to need some states to manage. And I'm going to call it home page. Same, I named the file, same thing. I'm going to save this. And right now it's good. I'm gonna change the placeholder to just say something else. I'm gonna just say GM. Come over here, and inside this, I will add the homepage instead. So as you can see, it says GM now, so we're good to go. But before we move any further, we need to do one more thing, which is install dependencies. So I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna also link this file. I'm gonna refer to it quite a bit in this tutorial. So if you're stuck, just feel free to refer to this file. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna open docs.walletconnect.com. If you just open this website, if you just open the docs, this is what you should see. We need to go to Web3Modal. We need to go to Flutter, and we need to copy this command. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna open the terminal section, and yep, that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna let it install. And this is pretty much the only dependency we really need right now. If you want to do smart contract interactions and stuff, you'd probably need Web3 Dart as well. I'll go over it briefly in a while, but yeah. So everything is done. If I open pubspec.yaml, I can see that along with the Flutter SDK, I also have Web3Modal Flutter installed now, which is great. I'm going to come back here, and under the Android folder, I'm going to go to app, source, main, and in the AndroidManifest.xml, I have to add a bunch of things. Not a bunch of things, but basically the wallet name, so we know which wallet we want to switch to, back and forth. I'm going to just use the default ones right now, and this has to be inside queries. So I'm going to go over here at the very top level, below the activity. I'm just going to add it over here. And that should be it. Great. If you want to add more wallets, feel free to just add them over here. The name should be pretty much the package name. And now that that is done, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to start using Web3Modal. Now, for the first thing we need to do is we need to initialize a Web3Modal service. But for that, we need to have a Web3Modal service. I'm going to call it late Web3Modal service. I'm going to call it underscore Web3Modal service. Now, what this will do is this will be your main entry point. Everything about Web3Modal will be controlled through this Web3Modal service. So it's really important. I'm mentioning it as late, meaning that I am not declaring a value for it right now, but I will in the future. This is kind of like a promise that I'm giving to Flutter, not in the JavaScript sense, that don't worry, I'm declaring it right now, but I promise I'll add something of value to this later on. So that's good. We also need a function over here. So I'm going to override the init state, right? And this is kind of accurate, but not really. We need to initialize state or W3M, whatever you want to call it. And inside this, we need a function. So if I come over to docs and I go to the next page, I can see that they have declared it like this. So I'm just going to yank this code. I'm going to come here and I'm going to declare a new function, which should be initialize state, make it an async. I'm going to do underscore W3M service equals all of this. Now, a couple of things here. First is the project ID. I'll show you how you can get that done in a while. The other thing is the redirect. So right now, on this setup, it doesn't quite work as well because you have to add a bunch of stuff over in this file as well, a couple of intents. But ideally, this would be how the other app knows how to redirect the user back to your app. So the wallet basically uses this URL to kind of send the user back to your app once they're done whatever it is they're doing. So we're just going to call it Web3Modal W3M, classic, simple. And I'm going to save this. A couple other things that I need to do is the project ID, which we need to change. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to open cloud.walletconnect.com. So I have already signed in, so this is what I see. But if you have not signed in, you might need to just sign in with your wallet. You can also use your email address, etc. Go over, click on create, give it a name. I'm going to just call it Flutter Demo. I'm going to make it an app. That's fine. I can just leave the link empty and click on create. This would give us access to project ID. And once we have the project ID, I'm just going to come over here and paste it. Awesome. So we have this set up. And now what we need to do is we need to await Web3Modal service.initialize. I might be messing up. Oh, it's init. Okay. So Web3Modal.init. Perfect. Lovely. And we have successfully initialized Web3Modal. But we don't see anything. And this is where we change it. So this was all the logic behind Web3Modal. And now we will add visual components for this. I'm going to need a column. Inside this, I'm going to pass in a main axis alignment of center. Inside this, I'm going to have a bunch of children, which would be an array of widgets. Just if you didn't know this, in Flutter, everything is a widget, which is the best part about it in my opinion. And inside the children, I can pass a bunch of widgets and it'll stack up kind of like how Flexbox works. So column is basically flex call. And if you passed this as row, it would be flex row. Great. So in the children, I need 3 buttons. I'm going to do W3M connect wallet button, the most important button. In the service, we're going to pass in W3M service. What's wrong with this? Invalid constant value. Oh, yeah. Let's remove this const. Awesome. And we need 2 more buttons. I'm going to add a size bar. That's fine. I'm going to add a W3M network select button. Again, same thing. W3M service. Okay, so we have the W3M connect wallet button, we have the network select button, and we need another button, which is the account button. This is where we're going to see details about the account being accessed or the account we are connected to. Great, so I'm going to save this. I need to just stop this and run it again. And once this is done, hopefully we should see 3 buttons. Fingers crossed. So there was a small error where I was building this, and that is because I nested this intent filter. I nested this query inside the application, and in reality, it should have been outside. I'm going to try rebuilding again. Great. So now that we have started this, as you can see, we have 3 buttons. We have the connect wallet button, we have the network selection button, and we have the accounts button. Right now, the account button, of course, doesn't show anything because we are not connected yet. So let's change that. I'm going to click on connect wallet. I'm going to click on MetaMask. It's going to ask me for my fingerprint, which I will do. Great. So it's asking me if I want to connect. I'm going to, of course, do it. I'm going to click on connect. And that's it. As you can see, we also got redirected back to our apps. That's pretty nice. And yeah, as you can see I have 0.002 ETH in my account. And I'm connected on Ethereum, right? Now, let's say you're trying to, work with smart contract, and while testing it out, of course, you don't want to spend Ethereum. You want to work on a testnet, right? So let's do that next. As you can see, we already have a bunch of networks over here, but we want to add a separate network. And for the sake of this tutorial, let's add Sepolia. So for that, I would need to define a custom chain. I'm going to just say const chain ID equals whatever Sepolia's chain ID is. I'm going to refer to the gist for that. And the chain ID is this. I'm going to just copy paste this on. And then we need to initialize a chain. So as you can see over here, this would be a final, which means this is basically, this value is never going to change. It's going to be called the Sepolia chain, and it's going to use the W3M chain info utility from Web3Modal. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to walk you through what everything is over here. The chain name is basically what the chain is going to look like over in the UI. The namespace is a CAIP namespace. I'm going to leave more information about CAIPs in the description below. You can also check it out from docs. I'm going to also need the chain ID. I'm going to need the token name. So that's going to be Ethereum because we are on testnet anyways. We're going to need an RPC URL. I'm going to use the official Sepolia RPC. For the block explorer, we are also going to use another utility, which is W3M block explorer, which you get from Web3Modal Flutter, so no need to worry about that. We need a name for the explorer and a URL. That's pretty much it. I'm going to go back here and let's see how we can get this added. So right before we initialize this, we want to make sure that this chain is added as a preset. So for that, I'm going to use this. So Web3Modal by default, as you saw, has a bunch of chains. But let's say we want to add something that's not already here. And the way we do it is by doing this. We need the W3M chain presets.chain.put if absent, followed by the chain ID. Of course, I could just say this is the chain. The chain ID. I'm going to pass in Sepolia chain under the callback. That's great. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So that's all you needed to do to add Sepolia. Right now, I'm probably not going to see it. And if I click on this, as you can see, I'm not seeing it because this is running only when this view is created, when I'm initializing the state. So of course, I'm not going to see it. I'm going to close the app and start back again. Great, so we are back. As you can see, all my information is already here. But the different thing this time is if I click on the network tab, I can see that along with all the other networks, I also have Sepolia, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect and go back to my wallet. And over here, I'm also going to change my network, the same network. I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to click on show test networks. And I'm going to click on Sepolia test network. I'm going to click on got it. That's fine. So I have a bunch like Sepolia ETH lying in this wallet. So that's fine. That's going to help us out. We'll go back. I'm going to select network again. Click on Sepolia. It's going to give me the option to choose which wallet I want to connect with. I'm going to click on MetaMask and connect. And done. Got redirected back to the app. Super sick. And that's it. So right now I'm connected to Sepolia. As you can see, my balance is reflected over here. I can also check which tokens this account holds by going to the block explorer by clicking on this link. Not going to do that right now, of course. And this is where we come to the more interesting part, is let's actually go ahead and sign a message. You would think that it should be hard to do, right? Like signing a message from scratch. Not really. It's pretty easy to do it with Flutter Web3Modal. So I'm going to add another size file just for a little bit of distance. I'm going to add a new elevated button. On pressed, I'm going to make it call a function called on personal sign. And the child, I'm going to just pass a text. So I'm going to make it a const text personal sign. Awesome. I don't really have a function for personal sign right now, so I'm going to go ahead and declare the function. So let's write the function first then. Void on personal sign. And I don't need to make it anything, but that's fine. I'm going to remove this. I'm going to come back to docs. And if I go over to the usage, no, I think it's actions. Yeah, if I go over to actions, as you can see, we have some utilities over here. So firstly, I'm going to copy this one, which is actually got to go over and launch the connected wallet. So in my case, this should ideally be MetaMask. If you're using another wallet, it should launch that wallet instead. And here we have a function to send requests. So I'm going to just go over and copy this. I'm going to come back here and paste this. This is dummy, so I don't really, I can just go ahead and mark this as a const. I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing here. Firstly, I'm launching the connected wallet. Next, I am requesting from the connected service that this is my topic, this is my chain ID. Of course, I'm going to change this to be this instead. And I'm saying that I want to make an RPC request with these session request parameters. Of course, this is also exported from Wallet Connect Flutter. That's good. Great. So under params, we have two strings. First one being the actual message you want to sign. You can call this whatever you want, of course. And the second one is the address. You get that from W3M service. I'm going to come over here and click on personal sign. It's going to fingerprint. That's okay. I'm going to get that done. And hopefully, if everything's working properly, I should see a prompt. Amazing. And we get the message as well. Super nice. I'm going to click on sign, and that's it. Perfect. So yeah, that was pretty much it for this tutorial. I did promise I'd go over Web3 Dart and some advanced concepts. So that's what I'm going to do now. If you go over to docs, head over to Web3Modal Flutter and actions, you can see that you have more methods that you can use, of course. You have get approved chains, you can get the approved methods, events, etc. So for reading a contract, you need something called Web3 Dart. If you don't know what Web3 Dart is, click on this link. It's a package, just like Web3Modal Flutter. And it kind of helps you to interact with the blockchain. This is Flutter's way of interacting with the blockchain. So you can kind of think of it as the ethers or the VM of Flutter. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward implementation, to be honest. But what they have done here is use the tethered token contract. They get the name, the total supply, and the balance. You of course need the API and the address, and you can interact with it over there. If you want to learn more about W3 Dart or Web3 Dart, go over the pub.dev page and check it out. It's pretty nice. They also have some extensive documentation, so might be worth a shot to kind of like read through it and kind of like explore a little bit about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you also want to see the entire source code for this, they have the entire GitHub repository under the example folder, so you can go over and check that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed, hope you learned something new. Since it's 2024, wishing everyone a happy new year, and thank you for sticking through till the end. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So peace out, bye-bye.